Hi everybody, Dr. Lisa Thompson here of drlisaandthompson.com, coming to you live from my home office outside of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and welcome to another edition of The Doctor Is In Live, coming to you on this Monday, October 17th, 2016. I can't believe we're already through the middle of October. Time is flying, and today we're going to be switching gears a little bit. We're going to do a little Mindset Monday today because this weekend I was listening to something that's got me so fired up that I want to share it with you today. So make sure if you're on right now, I want you to give me a shout out. Tell me who you are and where you're from because I want to give you a shout out. And what I also want you to do is hit the upper right hand corner of your screen, which is the Facebook notification button. And when you hit that, what Facebook is going to do is it's going to let you know when I am live. That way we can interact in real time. And I'm always doing my Facebook live shows at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Central, 1:30 Pacific. Hi, Ronnie. Glad to have you on the show today. So the topic of my show today is be obsessed or be average. And we're going to dive into that. Now, last week, Grant Cardone, I'm a huge fan of Grant Cardone. And, oh, Ronnie, you just got up. Oh, that's right, you're down in Australia. And she just got up about 10 minutes ago. Oh, wow, well, good morning to you down there. Happy Tuesday. But I've been a big fan of Grant Cardone. And I have listened to his 10X rule on Audible. That was the first book I purchased when I got my Audible subscription through Amazon. And I absolutely love that book. And he came out with a brand new book last week called Be Obsessed or Be Average. And guys, if you don't have that book, you need to get it. And I highly recommend you get the Audible version because Grant, he's one of the few people that I know that when they do a book, usually sometimes when people do, they write books, they'll have someone else narrate the books on Audible. He's doing his own, where you hear him actually speaking about stuff from the book. And he also throws in additional gold nuggets into his into these Audible recordings, and it just is so awesome. I can't, this is a book that you really need to get your hands on. And you can get that now. It's available for Kindle download on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble. And you can also get it for Audible. And so that's what I've been listening to. And the reason that Grant calls it be obsessed or be average is that the successful people, they're obsessed with, success, and they're also obsessed with mastering a skill. And for Grant, if you haven't heard his story, it's very, very inspiring where, he lost his dad at the age of 10. His dad died suddenly of a massive heart attack at the age of 52. And then Grant wound up, he wound up getting on the wrong side of the tracks. He was a drug addict. And what saved him, and he's very candid when you read his book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, or you're listening on the Audible recording. It's very powerful when you listen to it on Audible, where he says, hi Trina, glad you're on the show today. And what Grant says, the name of the book is Be Obsessed or Be Average Running. And so, or you can just type in Grant Cardone into Amazon, and you will find that that's his latest book. Now, what Grant talks about, and what kept him from relapsing into drug use was that he had to be obsessed with something other than trying to get his next fix. And so at the time before he went into treatment, he was working in cars. He was a car salesman. And through the grace of God, when he came back from treatment, his old dealership took him back. And he just knew that if he became bored, he would relapse. So he devoted all of his time, all of his energy into learning everything he could about working and selling cars. And what happened is he would wake up in the morning and he would listen to sales tapes, sales training tapes. He threw himself into his work. And what happened is that he became the top salesman, not only in his car dealership, but soon in the region. And he learned how to take that obsession, okay, of just learning to be the best and focus. That's really what obsession is focus on getting results. And he was very revealing. I thought this was quite striking in the book, where he said that when he wrote the 10X rule, he was getting a lot of feedback from people saying that, they were getting results, but people were sacrificing, where they were working so hard on their business that they didn't have enough time to spend with their kids, or their health suffered, or the relationships suffered. And so Grant wrote Be Obsessed or Be Average to teach people how to use obsession and focus the correct way, and to have, more importantly, balance in your life. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is, are you obsessed or are you average in seeking out your goals? If you have a home business or a business and you're not getting the income level that you're at, or you're kind of at a pin level and you want to get to the next one by your next live event and you're not there yet. Hi, Joel. Glad to have you on the show. Are you obsessed? Or are you just average? You see, we don't get our shoulds in our life. And for so long, and I include myself in this, we would should all over ourselves. All right? We'd say, oh, I should do this. I should make those calls. I should meet those 10 new people. I should write my blog post. But guys, in life, we never get our shoulds. We always get our musts. And Grant says something in the book. His uncle gave him one of the best pieces of advice. And I want you to get out a pad of paper and a pen and write this quote down. It is so powerful. It's short, but it is powerful. It is, if you can, you must. If you can, you must. You see, in life, we get our musts, because when we focus on musts and we make it a priority, what happens is when we're teaching our subconscious and we're focusing on solutions, when we're shooting all over ourselves, we're not focusing on anything. All right? We're letting life take over. We get caught up. But when we focus and make it a must, we go out and we find solutions. Now, think back in your life right now of a challenge that you overcame. Okay? A major challenge that has happened in your life. It could be something personal. It could be something professional. It could be something financial. Maybe you were at the doctor and you had a heart attack and the doctor says you have to change your diet. It's a must now. Or you got diabetes and it's a must now that you've got to change your diet. Or you were someone who, financially, spouse lost their job and now you have to find a way to supplement that income. And now finances are a must. Which things can you give up? Which things are a must that we need to keep the financial operation going, all right, for our budget? Maybe it was a relationship where it became a must. Okay, we've all had those moments. And when we focused and made it a must, we overcame it because we found solutions within ourselves that we can do it. Now, I'm going to give you my very best tips right now on how to create, a daily action plan where you're being obsessed in a good way and taking action so that you're moving yourself forward to get success. Okay? So the first thing that you have to do is, number one, you should write out what you need to do throughout, for the day. So, you can do this before you go to bed at night, or you can do it first thing in the morning. Get out your planner and physically write it out. Something magical happens when you take a pen in your hand and you write it down. It gets into your subconscious. So make out the list. Now, don't put it in any particular order. Just get it out on paper. You're doing a mind dump. Once you've done that, star off. What are the musts for the day? Pick 3 to 4 of them and get them done. Now, when you're looking at your musts, always ask the question, can I leverage it? Let me give you a couple of examples. So let's say you're in your home business and you're creating a branded giveaway for your blog, all right? And you're doing an ebook. And you know that you got to get that cover done, that cover design done. You can either choose to do it for yourself, or you could leverage it by having Fiverr do it for you, outsource it. If you have to type it up, and if you have kids that are like, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, outsource it to them. Have them do it for you. I remember growing up, my mom and dad had a business that they took over from my grandparents. It's called the Carver County Abstract Company. It was a land title insurance company, and I looked forward to, my mom and dad always said to me that when you turn 15, you can come and start working at the office. And I was so stoked by that because I had a lot of friends where after school and high school, what they did is they either worked at their mom and pop store that their parents owned, they worked on the farm, or they worked where their parents ran, a grocery store or something to that effect. And so when I went and did that, I felt good, number one, because I was earning some extra money. But number two, I was spending time with my parents and my grandparents, and that was a big thing, a lot of times when we get into our businesses, sometimes we forget that, our families are right there too. And the cool thing is that kids are so tech savvy today that you could pass off stuff and give them maybe a little extra bump in their allowance, and they'll do it. And if you can get them involved in the vision that you have, you can say, hey, we're running in this business right now. If we hit this level, we'll qualify for a free trip, or we're going to go on a trip to Disney World. Can you help us out? And guess what? You tell your kids that, they're going to want to help you. Okay, so that's another great way to leverage and outsource. So when you look at those must outcomes, you see if you can delegate some of those. That way you're focusing on the key things that you need to work on to improve your skill set, and you're going out and meeting people. So what I want you to do is, when you're looking at your daily method of operation for your business, remember we talked about this a couple of live shows ago, where we said there's only really 3 things you need to do. Number 1, you need to meet 10 new people a day. Number 2, you need to be creating a piece of content every day. Hi, Junie, glad to have you on the show. And number 3, you need to be writing to your email list every single day. And let me ask you a question with these 3 points. Is meeting 10 new people a day for you a should or a must? Did you prioritize it as a should or a must? Are you writing a piece of content, or you're doing a video every day? Is that a should or a must? And number 3, are you writing to your email list every single day? Is it a should or is it a must? Okay, you got to stop shoulding all over yourself. You have to make things a must. When they are a must, they get done. Okay, and right now I think some of you might be a little bit bummed out because we're into the final stretch of 2016 and you haven't done a lot with your goals. Guess what? There's still plenty of time to finish the year strong if you become obsessed and focused on your musts. Okay, I have seen many people in the month of October come in and they absolutely crushed it Okay, my friend Vitaly Dubinin, this guy, I just love him to pieces. I met him 2 years ago down in Austin, Texas at a live event. And he was obsessed with success. He actually flew from Israel, all right? And he came to Austin, Texas. And after that event, he catapulted himself in those last 3 months of 2014. He went on a rocket ship. And today, he has been, he now makes, he had his first $60,000 month, all right? Because he became obsessed with learning how to really build a business, learning the skills, and now he is a full-time entrepreneur. He used to be a bank teller. Now he's an entrepreneur. If he can do it, you can do it too. Now, I'm just going to look here at the comments really quickly. Ronnie says, this will be in my head all day. It's nice to wake up knowing I can listen to something positive. I love being positive. Awesome, Ronnie. Are you guys getting value from this show today about being obsessed or be average? You're going to focus on your musts. I want you to tell me right now, before we close out the show, I want you guys to write down, tell me one of your must outcomes you're going to do today. Tell me one of your must outcomes. I'll tell you what one of my must outcomes was today. One of my must outcomes was to go in and I was going to create a brand new 2-minute video I was going to put in a Facebook group. Guess what? I went and I did it. Now I got another must outcome that I'm going to be working on, which is creating my blog post. And I've got to follow up with 20 new people that I met over the weekend. So, with that said, what are your musts? Okay, what are your musts? Tell me them today. Tell them to me right now. If you're going to be watching later, make sure you leave a comment. And I'll make sure I give you a shout out back. Now, I want to give you a heads up with some housekeeping items. Last week we talked all about Twitter and how it's a great way to really start meeting new people, getting some engagement, getting some leads. It's a great sifting and sorting tool. One of the best social media networks to do that. Well, this Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, my good friend Adam Chandler, who taught me everything about Twitter marketing expert, he's going to be doing a free Twitter training this Wednesday night where he's going to be sharing the new updates that are happening on Twitter and some brand new strategies that can help you get at least 12 leads per day. What I want you to do, if you want to attend that webinar, I'm going to say the link, and then that way you can register. It's webinar.drlisamthompson.com. I'll say that again, webinar.drlisamthompson.com, webinar.drlisamthompson.com. Hi, Karen. Thanks for watching the show today. And so what I want you guys to do is I want you to make a decision. Are you going to be obsessed or are you going to be average? Ronnie just said, my must today is to watch 2 learning videos I'm having trouble with. I want to master it. That's my must for today. Oh, and to write another blog post for my blog. Awesome, Ronnie. Way to take action. Way to state it. So that's what I want you guys to be doing. When you make a declaration like that public, now you got to follow through. And when you follow through, give yourself a shout out because people are definitely going to want to celebrate that success. So with that said, we're going to sign off on today's show. Now make sure you also go pick up a copy of Grant Cardone's Be Obsessed or Be Average, because that is going to be a book that is going to help you in 2016 and beyond. So with that said, have a great evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.